10.1 Intro to Probability. Your homework tonight is Delta Math. Basic probability terminology. An experiment, some process that occurs with well-defined outcomes. An outcome, the result of a single trial of the experiment. Event, a collection of one or more outcomes. Sample space, a collection of all of the outcomes of an experiment. Example 1. An experiment is run whereby a spinner is spun around a circle with 5 equal sectors that have been marked off as shown. What's the probability of spinning the spinner and landing on an odd number? What is the event here? What outcomes fall into the event? Well, the probability of odd is 3/5, or 0.6, or 60%. The probability of an event. The probability of an event E occurring is given by the ratio. The probability of E is equal to NE divided by N over S, where NE is equal to the number of outcomes that falls into the event E, and NS is the number of outcomes that fall into the sample space. Exercise 2. Given the previous definition, between what two numbers do all probabilities fall? All probabilities must land between 0 and 1 inclusive, meaning that the probability of 0 is allowed and the probability of 1 is allowed. That means that you have a 0% chance to 100% chance of occurrence. Theoretical probability. You don't actually conduct an experiment, i.e., rolling a die or conducting a survey. Instead, you use your knowledge about a situation, some logical reasoning, and/or a known formula to calculate the probability of an event happening. It can be written as the ratio of the number of favorable events divided by the number of possible events. Example 3. A fair coin is flipped 3 times and the result is noted each time. The sample space consists of ordered triples, such as HHT, which represent a head on the first toss, a head on the second toss, and a tail on the third toss. Notice here, this is a tree diagram. And we have the following that are potential outcomes. You have 8 potential outcomes for this tree diagram. So what is the probability of all heads? Well, all heads occurred 1 out of 8 times. And the probability of exactly 2 heads? Well, that occurs 3 out of 8 times. And the probability of all heads or all tails occurs 2 out of 8 times, or 1/4. Empirical or experimental probability. The gathering of data from observations during an experiment. Example 4. A survey is done by a marketing company to determine which of 3 sodas was preferred by people in a blind taste test. Find the empirical probability that a person selected at random from this group would prefer soda B. The probability of soda B, well, that occurs for 24 out of 53 of the total people. So that occurred 45% of the time. Now find the empirical probability that a person selected at random from this group would not prefer soda A, meaning that they would prefer soda B or soda C. So that occurs when we have an or statement such as that. We would add the 2 probabilities. So 24 plus 11 would make 35. So it's 35 out of 53, or 0.66. Your homework once again is Delta Math.